welcome to another episode of Queen3 and King, which should be live on the Roku channel. And I'm looking at it. I got it in my peripheral here. So we are live on Roku. So if you have not downloaded the BS3 network, BS3 TV Roku channel, please go to your Roku TV and do that.
You're looking good.
We live, baby.
Wow.
We on TV.
Yeah, so, we made it, Mama.
We made it, Mama.
And we're there. So today we're talking about double standards. Double standards. So y'all happen to know what double standards are, but we'll get into that in just a moment. We'll get our definitions on that right after intros. We already got Ray to Kev in the building. Who just shared some very good information on the End of the Bench podcast about gun safety, gun ownership, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure you support them. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my co-hostesses.
Okay.
And we're going to go different today. Instead of starting with the season queen, we're going to go with the baby queen out of Forney, Texas.
What?
Just kidding. Out of Anna, Texas, our oldest queen.
What?
My braid getting in my eye.
She's trying to be left eye with that one braid. Thanks for doing that on purpose.
Trying to be Aaliyah.
All right, out of Anna, Texas, standing at 5'3" tall. Out of East Garland, Texas, we have Darling Nikki. We have Coco. We have the Glamour. We have Skinny Minnie, Boney Maroney. What up, Queen?
Hey. What's happening, y'all?
Hey.
Wow. All right. And the next, out of East Garland, Texas, with the headband wig on by way of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I just realized she had on there.
Standing at 2 1/4.
Damn.
The educator, Meba. What up, Queen?
Good evening.
Why you got to put it out there like that?
And you probably gonna have to get endorsed as much as they putting you out there in them streets.
Thank you. Endorse me.
All right. And last but not least, the baby queen, Blake's mama, who scores a minimum of 7 goals a weekend.
Okay.
I think he hit him with 9 this weekend.
Did.
Mama Lee. What up, Queen?
Hey y'all, yeah, he gonna retire me real soon.
He said
he gonna get all of us out to get up.
We gonna be moving on up, baby,
like George and Weezy.
All right, and do us a favor and please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and again,
all of that.
Go download that channel. You can watch us on the TV, and you can make your comments on the phone. All right. That's how you do it.
Okay.
All right. We got Aunt Weeda in the house. She says, hey, family.
Hey, Aunt Weeda.
Hey.
She's going to always be in the building.
Yes.
All right. So before we get into our topic, I wanted to talk a little bit because I saw a very interesting Halloween costume this weekend that made me giggle.
And
so not giggle.
It made me giggle. So before we get into that, I want to discuss that a little bit. Did either of y'all have any Halloween costumes that made you giggle?
No, nothing made me giggle.
Not giggle.
We found interesting, whatever.
Yeah. Sierra as TLC. I like that one a lot.
She was all 3?
She was all 3, baby.
Really?
And she was Selena's.
Yeah, Selena too. Look on Instagram.
You'll Selena's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. That's where that bread comes in. She can change it up. Girl. She can be 4 people in one day, baby.
See? Wow. I'm sometimes 4 people in one day on my own.
Yeah, we know, girl.
That's that Leo spirit.
We know, right?
I think they call that Sybil. Anybody else have anything interesting?
I loved Kevin Hart. Remember the Time. He did Michael Jackson, a tribute to Michael Jackson. I thought that was super dope.
Awesome.
They did that. That was awesome. Yeah, that was my favorite of the weekend.
I heard him talking. I saw a little video of that, and he was talking to the Michael Jackson, and he was pretty believable as Mike.
Yes.
Well, the one I saw, I thought this was a new one, but apparently people have done it before. But I saw this female, and she did She came as the CVS receipt.
Wow.
The long ass receipt.
What they
About
did,
20
she
of
had
them
ran up.
Yes.
So as soon as they put her on camera, she released the receipt and it rolled out across the floor.
I
That
can't.
receipt
I
had
hate
to
'em.
be 10 feet long,
Uh-uh.
and this guy did it as well. And they actually are taking the time to actually print it out and put the rewards on
Oh
there.
my gosh.
What's funny about this one, they saw that they only bought some Altoids and got that long ass receipt. So that's why he's showing it. But I thought that was super creative.
And those
super
coupons are never for anything you want.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but see, you do it for the
Exactly.
rewards coupons. I do it for the rewards coupons.
I was about to say that's what I do. I be
And the
ringing
extra
them
bucks.
things up. Yeah.
extra bucks.
The
But-
extra
but-
tag.
But you throw
I don't
away
get mine
80%
printed
of them.
out. I have it emailed. I don't let them print mine, and I have it emailed to me.
Oh, excuse us. You
Yeah,
know,
these
I don't need all that paper.
Yeah, I wonder how many trees they kill in a day. Shit. All right. It looks like we're still having some technical difficulties on this Roku channel because it's spotty going in and out. But
And what it may be the weather too.
But you can always still see us on the regular platforms: Facebook,
Right.
YouTube, Twitter.
we're just getting the kinks out. Just getting the kinks out.
All right, we got Charlotte Wilson in the house.
Hey,
My name is Charlotte.
We got
Charlotte
in the
Wilson.
house. Hey, family, much love.
Hey, Linda.
Hey, Linda.
What's wrong
Hey,
with
Linda.
you?
Alicia said my name is Charlotte. Last
Charlotte
name Wilson.
Wilson.
Oh,
Yes.
I almost choked on my water.
And Charlotte's an educator as well, by the way.
Oh, hey,
I see it all over her. She look
Mhm.
And the
educated, baby.
trailer says, "Hey, family."
Hey,
All right.
Lena.
hey,
Charlotte.
mom.
Hey, Lena.
So, just double standards, and we're gonna start with you, Lily, on that. Just in your own words, define for our viewing audience how you see double standards. What do you think of when you hear double standards?
I automatically just think of the difference between male and female. So a lot of different scenarios, but I think the one that comes to my head is like the number one double standard I always think of is when a guy dates a lot of people. He's the player. He the man. You know what I'm saying? You know. And when girls do it, they're a hoe. So I think that's what I think about it automatically when I think about double standards because we see that so much.
All right, Mika, how do you define double standards in your own words?
I think simply put, expecting more from one party than the other, or not treating one party like you treat the other, or I think punishing one versus the other in the same situation. And Alicia said it best. I think you know, especially comes to men and women. And my example is cheating.
Yeah, that's another good one.
So if you cheat on a man, sis, go and pack your bag. But
You the worst thing. You the scum between my toes.
Yeah, you're the scum between my toes. But if you cheat on, if a man cheat on you, girl, just go through it.
That's what all men cheat.
All men cheat. Double standard.
Nicole, how do you define the double standards in your own
Well,
words?
I actually agree with both of Mika and Alicia because that was the first thing that came to my mind whenever you said we were going to be talking about this topic is about men and women, and especially in the relationship part of it. Like Alicia said, when a woman cheats, then she said a whore. I was going to say a whoremonger, like the Bible speak of. However, when men do it, they are praised by fellow men. It's okay to, for them to do it. They the dog. They the big dog. They got a lot of women under their belt or whatever the case may be. But again, that's exactly what Alicia was talking about, as well as what Mika said with regards to the cheating part of it. That is also true, and I agree with both of those. And that was my line of thinking, especially with what Alicia said.
All right, cool. So for me, double standards. When I think about double standards, just quite simply put, it is two standards, one for you and one for me. or one for them and one for them, right? It's usually not equitable. It's usually not fair. One person has the advantage in that standard. Another way I thought about it was when there's a double standard involved, you are the do as I say, not as I do creature, right? Which is another way to be able to look at double standards.
That's true.
Let's see. Charlotte says, "Hey, yes, Lord, give us teacher strength."
Yes.
Yes. Amen.
Rita brought up a good one. Says most parents raise boys different than girls. They give the boys too much freedom, but not the girls. Boys need to be watched.
That's very true.
Okay, so Nikki, we're gonna start with you with this question. Where do double standards come from? Why do we have double standards? For instance, you can even use that example that Wita just gave. Why do we do this?
Usually we do this with our boys because we want our men, when they grow up to be men, we want them to be tough and give them stricter guidelines than well, not stricter guidelines, but give them, let's just say, not necessarily to be stricter on boys. Sometimes we're a little bit more lenient on boys as women. Having two sons, I know that, but in reality, we should be just as hard as on the boys as we are on the girls, simply because girls can get caught up just as much in a situation as boys can. That would be hard for the parent or whoever to get them out of. Like, for instance, stealing honey buns and stuff like that.
He said,
He ran right there.
He's trying to decide.
I didn't steal them. I'm borrowing them here. I just didn't give them back.
He's trying to decide if he was going to remove your face.
Yeah. Okay, Mika, what you got? Why is this the case? Why do we raise boys differently than girls? Why do we have that double standard, or any double standard for that matter?
I don't know if it's any good reason. I think it's from past experiences, and it's just learned behavior. We've seen it done in the past. We think it works. I think, I just think that we learn. It's passed down almost.
Yeah.
Like, that's a double standard that's passed down. I'm going to be hard on my girls than I am my boys, period. There's no explanation why. There's no reason behind it. I think we just, some of, double standards that we experience or that we have in our families, we just pass them down. No reason behind them.
Okay. Lily, what you got? Any reasons why you think double standards exist?
Yeah, sometimes I think you often hear about people saying they don't want their daughter to go out there and get pregnant or to get caught up in the world, but their sons can bring home babies too. So I'm like, I don't understand that logic of thinking, but it's almost like we're more protective of the girls in a sense, but it's an unhealthy way of being protective of the girls. Because sometimes you cause them to, when they do get a little piece of freedom, they wild out. And I think we've all seen that before. It has the reverse effect on them that you want them to go in the world and have. So that's what I think.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And Marita says she agreed with you on that point for sure. But there's no doubt about it. But what I believe to be the case, like in this particular scenario that we're discussing, is that boys, the consequences, even though they're the exact same, right? Like you said, they can both go out and get kids. Hell, I'm a living example because I came back at 17 with two of them at one time.
Twins.
So they can come back and get kids, but the perception of that is different, right? Imagine being in church and a teenager is getting kids. Have you ever, if we were to write a movie script and talk about, okay, we're going to have a teenager and she's going to have a baby and they're going to be a church family and we're going to see how the church is going to react, there's never going to be a question of whether that teenager is going to be a boy or a girl. It's like that teenager is always going to be a girl because that perception is going to be much different than when a boy gets it, right? Yeah. When a boy comes home and he's got a girl pregnant, it's not viewed as a negative, even in our adult communities, like I can't, and again, I don't know what the conversations were behind the scenes. My aunties are in the chat room, so if y'all can say what was said, what my mama said to y'all, if y'all remember, because I'm telling you right now, as that teenager, I didn't remember any negative thing get said to me.
I was
right?
about to ask you,
Nobody said anything
I was
negative to
about to
me.
ask you that
I
same
remember
question.
the biggest thing I remember about it was I was sitting in my bedroom and my mama came in there when we were talking about it. We had been talking about it that day or whatever. It was the day that we found out. And she said, "What you thinking?" Whatever. She came in there and I said, "I'm scared." And she goes, "What you scared for? You wasn't scared when you was getting it."
Yeah.
That was it. I didn't get any, negative feedback from anybody. So I'm interested to see.
But if you think about it, and I'm gonna put myself out there. When I love, we all love our kids, but with women, when it comes to those boys, you're kind of protective. Like, I got it. I'll do it.
Different.
It's different. You want to hug and coddle and make sure. But I think we expect our girls to be women and do it. And you're going to raise this baby and the end.
Right.
But our boys, we won't hear anything negative about it.
That's said, it sounds like something she would say. And Marita says it was too late to say anything.
Right.
Right. It was done.
Every time on the differences. And we said earlier that she agreed with Lily about the cheating situation. She'd been called a hoe throughout my life. She didn't say
throughout.
She said throughout.
Ain't nobody calling you that.
They better get off you, ain't
they better not call my auntie that.
Give us teacher strength. Priscilla Baker's in the house. She says,
"Hello,
Miss Priscilla.
A-Trap in the building
What
again.
up?
Hey,
Real good show tonight. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So so it, again, we had talked about y'all kind of brought up, we were going to kind of discuss one of the examples we had is that the double standard for him, he slept with a bunch of women, he's a player. For her, she slept with a lot of men, she's a hoe. Why is that the case? Why does society see it as that? Where does that stem from? Mika, Mika, we'll start with you. Why does society even see it that way? How did this come about? How do you see this? Why do they look at it this way?
That's almost one standard. Like, that is one double standard that I can say I almost go with.
Ooh. She's a hoe. She's a hoe.
Meaning, if you see a dude, you be like, dudes just be out there. But if a girl out there, your whole crew is discussing it. Like, girl, why is she like that?
Here come that hoe.
Here she
you
comes.
say you go with it. What do you mean you go with it?
Meaning
you agree with the standard?
I don't agree with it, but it's talked about more often. It's looked at as more correct.
You accept the standard.
Yeah, we can, and even with myself, I'm like, I'm not.
So why do we accept it? Like, there's even a couple of rap songs out right now where the female is talking about when we want it, we can't say we want it.
You can't.
We look that crazy, You
better not.
So why is this an accepted? Like you saying that I almost accept the standard. Yeah. Why do you accept the standard?
Yeah.
Why does society accept the standard?
I think
y'all don't accept unequal pay for equal work.
So don't.
Y'all don't accept not
let it be heard.
Voting rights. Y'all don't. Why are you accepting this standard? This is something that goes to your integrity or level thereof or lack thereof.
I don't think I accept that standard. Mm-hmm. I think that's whack when people do that. Like, because you see so many.
Hold on. I get the phone call. 1997 calling. They want their words back.
People always say, and still today, I don't know how out there you are. We still say whack.
Yeah, I said that yesterday.
Still say whack. But I think it's one of those things with dudes, it's just accepted because you getting all these females and that's cool. Like, that's the thing to do amongst the guys. But if girls do it, even women, and I know women are guilty of just putting her in that hole. Yeah. That whole lane, right? And that's not fair to her because she could just be living her best life like old dude over here is living her best life. If she's single and that's what she want to do, if she wants to date and sleep around and she makes that known, that's no different than the dude doing his thing.
But that it's different because with women, we give it a name. We discussed it among me and my crew all the time. A hoe face. Girl, I'm just having a hoe face.
Yep.
Why does it have to be a name for women? But when men do it, they just living their lives. So that's why I said it's almost like women are like, ooh, I don't want to be in the middle of that, or I don't want to be doing that, because women will call you out. I've sat in on conversations where I'm like, girl, you know she slept with someone.
And I also think that a lot of this stems from our parents with regards to girls versus boys and how we're taught and things of that nature, or what a man would say, because boys are hyped up by their daddies to go out there and get you a little something, get you a little bit. You know, you ain't no man till you get some, you know, till you done had you something, you know, stuff like that. But women aren't necessarily saying that to their daughters. They're doing it the opposite way of saying, trying to teach their girls to wait to marriage and all that kind of stuff. And then when your daughter get out there as a teen or a young adult and start doing her own thing and forgetting about what mama said, then not just the family calling her a hoe.
I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because I remember sitting in a Maddie's living room.
I'm serious.
And it was a few of us there. Leisha, Shalina, Ashley, it's Aunt Thelma, it's Aunt Linda, and it was a few of us. And they was like, you can tell when a girl been out here.
When she already.
And you like, Jesus.
Yeah, even back in the day when there was a term for it, right? They used to call girls fast,
boys managed,
and they used to call the men managed. But when you called a little boy managed, it was cute. It wasn't.
When
you called a girl fast, it was a negative thing. Justin said, but we push our boys out and expect them to take over the world. Right. So he's basically saying there's more of an expectation in those terms. And that can be some pressure as well. Kyler Briscoe says parents are more lenient on the child of the opposite sex.
Yes.
Fathers are more tougher on their sons and more protective of their daughters, where moms are tougher on their sons and more protective of their sons and harder on the girls.
And I am protective of my boys.
Marita says it was like that in the biblical days when Jesus asked the men who wanted to stone the women for sleeping around. He without sin cast the first stone.
That's a good one.
Justin said, I accept that standard all day.
Of course you do.
It's a big difference. Okay, you're gonna have to explain on why it's a big difference.
Yeah, tell us what you're talking about, Just.
Because he used to be that boy in high school. Excuse me.
Selena says that it was a rite of passage for boys back in the day. For girls, they were Yeah. Lena said a hoe is a hoe regardless of male or female. I never listened to it. I'll call a dude a hoe in a minute. Yeah, you may call him that, but it doesn't affect him.
He gonna keep on.
It don't.
He gonna keep on hoeing, baby.
Yeah, that's like you go call a white dude a N-word, he ain't gonna be like, go what? He ain't gonna care.
Why does your voice go like that?
We just said, I didn't sleep with a lot of men. I just had men friends that I kicked it with. Most men don't think women can have male friends, probably because they don't.
You know what? That is so true, because in high school, when Uncle Melvin had me as a trainer for track, I got called a hoe all the time because I hung out with those guys. Yeah. But I didn't even talk.
Association.
Yep. I had no relationship with these guys but friends, but they would put us in the category of being a hoe. Because I kicked it with them. So that is so true.
Justin shut it down. No, he wasn't letting you kick it with him.
I was shutting him down.
Raider Kale said some of the kids come with the responsibility of that act. If your son gets someone pregnant, that's one thing. If your daughter becomes pregnant, now that's a bigger responsibility.
Because the daughter brings the baby home.
Right.
Yep. 9 times out of 10 does not bring the baby home.
Yeah. Somebody put a status up and said, I realized that I'm going to be the grandma on the dad's side. Don't nobody like the grandma on the dad's side?
No.
They don't.
Because you automatically associate that with being negative and not really being in a
Think
picture.
about Mama is the grandma on the dad's side with all
I
my
know,
grandkids.
but that
But Mama a different kind of grandma.
That was funny
It's
to
totally
me.
different. And think about Mama Zette, our grandmother.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
daddy's side.
She
Everybody
welcomed
loves
us.
her.
She welcomed me and Teg in as if we were her own grandchildren.
Yeah.
She took
That
me to
was
go get
funny
my
to
prom
me.
dress, everything. She did everything with us.
All right.
So, yeah, but that is kind of true.
What I want to do. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this one now.
Okay.
And then viewers, I need you to really listen to this. I'm gonna get this comment first, but I need y'all participation in this one because this is ugly. Okay, Lena said I got called a beau.
A hoe.
She
Autocorrect.
Let me look at my keyboard and see
Bye.
if H's and B's ain't even close to each other on here.
She was probably just typing too fast.
I got called a hoe for being pregnant at 17, but was only with one sperm donor. Wow. So I get it. Sad but true.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to flip the script on the double standards. Okay. Here's the double standards in what some people consider to be the woman's favorite. Mm-hmm. All right. And Lily, we're going to start with you on this one. For her, she can opt out of motherhood via abortion without his consent. He can't opt out of fatherhood.
I know.
Huh?
Go ahead. I almost cussed.
You better say, I know you lying.
So, where I got, matter of fact, I think this may be the one that actually started me on it because there was an interview and a female was interviewing another female and they talked about this and they said, what do you feel about the fact that you can opt out of motherhood, but he can't? And she goes, well, he can sign over his rights. And she goes, yeah, but signing over his rights, that's not saying that you're not responsible financially. You can't get out of a responsibility unless they let you out of the responsibility. So you can't opt out of nothing. Now a lot of people do it illegally, so to speak, and just don't pay their way. But technically, you can't opt out of fatherhood legally.
And you said via abortion, huh?
Think about
all right, Mama.
Mama said abortion.
We're gonna bring up abortion. Okay.
That's how women can opt out of motherhood, right?
Okay.
And they don't need to have that dude. They don't have to have his consent.
No, and I think that's one of those subjects that are super touchy because some people are totally against it, but there are certain circumstances where it may be warranted for that female, right? So we don't know the situation of how she got pregnant, but she's going to be the one 9 times out of 10 that has that baby 24/7 and is responsible for that human being every day. While we're talking about double standards, dudes kind of get the leeway to be that dad that is absent. And we just give that a pass. That's just known as a deadbeat daddy. Oh, we got deadbeat daddies. I know there's some sorry mamas. Don't get me wrong. But that abortion.
So you think it's fair that a woman can terminate a pregnancy or
I think it's her decision.
Opt out of it, but a man can't opt out of it.
I think it is absolutely her decision.
So think about this, right? Okay, let me give you this scenario. Okay. So a woman can opt out of it because of these reasons, right? I'm not ready for it. It's a big responsibility. I got to have the kid every day. There may be some health issues in my body that I can't take care of.
It was a one-night stand. The baby daddy ain't gonna be there. She was raped.
All of them.
Right?
Now let's talk about the dude. He could be in a situation, I'm not ready. I don't have the financial responsibility. There's a lot of, I have medical issues in my family. I don't know that a kid I'm going to carry those on. In other words, there could be a lot of reasons for the dude as well. But his reasons, no matter how legitimate, right? No matter how legitimate as to why he don't want to be a dad, it don't matter. You get no say, buddy. And so the question is that fair?
You do get a say as a man.
You need to quit talking like that, though. I'm gonna cut your ass off.
I think
But-
it's one of
but
those
no.
things. Let's take it back to elementary school. You know what you were doing to get there.
You knew what you get
Well,
that
so
choice.
did she.
What?
So did she.
Okay, so it's her decision.
It's
If
both.
she wants to keep that,
Right.
if she wants to deal with that, if I'm dealing with the potential of a guy maybe not being in the picture, then I have to deal with that. I have to make the choice that I'm going to raise this child no matter what.
A man, I don't care if he is 13, 14, 15, 16. A man knows what can happen if he has unprotected sex.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you can't see. That's where your arguments lose weight at when you say he knew what they.
You said he doesn't have a choice.
He has a choice. Everybody has a choice. He either not have sex with you. He either not have sex with you, or he use a condom.
Your legs.
Okay, we all have a choice.
So
but what I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is,
like just like you said, that's where you lose your argument with me. That's where you lose your argument with me because he know what it is too.
Yes,
it goes.
He should have wrapped it up.
Both of them do. So again, you're still not addressing why does she get the opportunity to opt out, but he doesn't.
Because we're the ones carrying the baby. We're the ones who's potentially going to take care of the kids.
How does he get the opportunity to opt out, Mika?
Because he does not have to be around. You heard Shalina.
Period.
Straight
up.
Let me say
straight
that.
up though.
You heard Shalina
because you talk like this don't make your point no better.
That's not
to me, I feel like people hear me better when I do it like that.
How you need to get it across.
But again, he doesn't have to be around, but that doesn't mean he's opted out legally. Right? Because he can still be on child support and back child support. So he does not have the ability to opt out.
Sign those rights over, buddy. He can do that.
He can do that.
If you sign all your rights,
supposed to be helping me, Derek.
I've seen it. If you sign your rights over, you're not obligated to that child whatsoever. That child can now be, say that woman gets married, her husband can then adopt that child and you're done. You're out of the picture completely.
And I know a couple of people.
I've known that happen several times.
But she has to let you sign over your rights. You can't sign over your rights on your own and just say, you can't just go to the court and say, I want to sign over my rights to this kid. Okay, Attorney General called and hey, you got a kid here. You've been reported. You finna get on child support. No, I'm out, bro. I'm going to sign over my rights. Y'all can have them. That don't happen.
But that's the thing, though. If I'm a woman and I'm going into this situation and I know that I'm not maybe in a marriage, so it can go south either way. So just in a relationship or just sleeping around and I get pregnant, I know that that's one of the consequences of my choice. That I could be raising that child as a single mother,
right?
And I have to deal with that. Just like if I go in to have an abortion, or if I'm going in to just have this abortion, that's a decision that I have to make too, because those are decisions that go into my decision, right? Choices that go into my decision. It might not be good for my health to go in and have this abortion, and he want me to have an abortion, just like Shalina said. He asked her to get an abortion, and she refused because it was her body. She knew that she would be responsible for that.
So now here's the deal. So Shalina says he opted out. Did you put him on child support? If she didn't put him on child support, that means she allowed him to opt out.
Period.
And that's my point. They have to be allowed to opt out. A woman doesn't have to be allowed to opt out. A woman can opt out, period. Whether it ain't
if it's his kid, I'm not gonna let him opt out either.
Yeah, because you let him opt in.
You know what?
It don't matter. It doesn't matter.
Woman opts out, CPS opts in.
He's a sorry man if you don't take care of your kid. Period.com.
Hey, he wasn't sorry that night.
Maybe not, but he showed to be sorry. And boy, I'm trying to keep my pose in there, but they showed to be that. If you're a real man, you're gonna take care of your kids.
Let's get some.
Don't get me started. Maybe he should have got his stuff fixed.
Charlotte says there's also a double standard when it comes to contraception. If they both use contraception, they wouldn't have unwanted pregnancy.
Right. And sometimes women do get pregnant with birth control.
Don't do that because that's what we've been saying.
There you go,
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah, he just Miss Charlotte had to say it. Yeah, Miss Charlotte had to say it.
Women are imprinted by men,
Charlotte.
good or bad. Guys can have sex with no feelings or emotions involved. Not saying that in every case, but I would say majority.
Oh my gosh, I am tickled.
Yeah. Yeah, some states you can. I guess abortion may be illegal or whatever. Akia says men get a say because they don't have to stay and actually go through the pregnancy.
Hello.
The man tells the woman she has to carry a child because he's ready, regardless if she is. She has to go 10 months pregnant with all that it brings. If a woman tells a man she's having a baby, regardless if he's ready, he can get ghost and never have to hear about it again until he wants to. My dad has been paid under the table all my life to avoid child support. He's the one that wanted us. Okay.
Love it.
Shadaria takes a period ago. He was sorry the next night.
The next night, okay. And all the years to come.
Okay, so Lena said he on child support and back child support. I thought about it. He didn't opt out when he was opting in me, period. Exactly. That's my point.
That's good, girl.
I'm not opting in you.
That's real talk. And again, she said, he said
I
in
see
an
what you
earlier
did
comment
there.
that he opted out. And this comment is a direct contradiction. If he is on child support and back child support, he did not opt out. He trying to opt out, but you and the state aren't letting him. And that's
the state said no, buddy.
He should have thought about that.
Justin got some, y'all should have thought about it before you.
No, he should have thought about that. They sell condoms on every corner. So when you were coming over my house to get some,
and you let him, and you let him without one.
And guess what? She took care of that baby too, didn't she?
Somebody get John Lewis on.
Let me care of that baby.
John Lewis, the only one.
Still took care of that baby.
Derek, get John on
here. John know not to come on here.
Mika, she still took care of that baby.
Derek says, why do that dudes who are prone to leaving always have the opportunity to make baby? I'm through. I'm gonna shut the whole show down.
Why is it?
Why is it that dudes who are prone to leaving always have the opportunities to make babies? True.
The same reason
they ain't prepared for that.
The same reason they nut in everything, you know. They nut everywhere. There you go.
And ain't nobody gonna call them a whoremonger.
They like
little bad boy.
They like them front boys.
But to be completely to be completely honest, we have to. That's why you have to be careful when you're making decisions on who you have kids with,
right?
Because you have to deal with the consequences of that.
Raider KF says that's why I'm saving myself until I get. Excuse me. Raider KF said he wasn't sorry that night. Brian said that's why I'm saving myself until I get married.
Bye.
Shadaria says he's opting out physically but obligated financially. In a sense, he's still opting out. No. Show did Alicia. Brian Reed says Nicole is right. My daughter is the birth control baby. That part. All right. So we're gonna take a break from this topic to let people cool down. While I get John Lewis on.
I need a fan in here. I'm so hot.
And just like that night, you was hot too. You should have been fanning that night.
I need a fan. Woo, Jesus.
I likes it, baby. I likes this topic. Come on, bring it.
Is the heat on in
here? All I have to say in opt OJ.
Not OJ.
I don't know what he's saying. All right, Lila, you said you got some stories, so let's get ready to go to this segment.
The streets are talking.
All right, what these streets got to say?
All right. So, I've been going hard the last couple of weeks. So I want a couple feel-good stories. So, wanted to bring this in. So, Kobe Bryant, even after his death, is still supporting his family 100%. So his estate is to receive $400 million after Body Armor announces $5.6 billion sale to Coca-Cola. So he's leaving behind a legacy. I think yesterday, his wife Vanessa went on Instagram to just thank him for always looking out for his family and for being a great father and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was really, really dope that even in the absence and even in his absence and in his death, he's still bringing money to his family and making sure they're well taken care of. So shout out to Kobe Bryant.
Shout out.
Another story. This is not so much a feel good story, but I felt good reading it. On Halloween, Calvin Ridley, the star wide receiver of the Atlanta Falcons,
this is a feel good story.
It absolutely is to me. The receiver for the Atlanta Falcons announced that he is stepping away from football to focus on his mental well-being. So he is taking a step away. A lot of people had a lot to say. Why is he leaving money on the table? What is he doing? He's at the height of his career or whatever they may be saying. But if at any point you feel like you need to take a step away for your mental well-being, by all means do so. So big ups to him, and I support him 100%. So it was a lot of negative tweets that I won't even share, but he also had a lot of love coming after that announcement, just saying that, telling him to take the time that he needs for his mental well-being. So what are y'all thoughts on those two stories?
I haven't heard about the football player until you just said that, but I think that his mental well-being is definitely priority over any kind of money, because you have to be basically what I'm saying is you got to be whole in your mental health as well as your physical health. So that is a priority. He can come back to football anytime. Yeah,
and I don't think there's anything wrong with him stepping away and knowing that he has to get that together.
No,
I know some of the negative tweets were, how does he have issues when he has this much money? But I think that we often neglect the conversation of all the demons that come with that much money too. So we have to look at the other side of that as well.
I think we forget that money doesn't equal happiness.
No,
right.
And I think, just because we have millions in the bank, Lord, give it to me, I'll do well by it. But just because we have millions in the bank doesn't mean that we're happy. And I think, like Nikki said, football will be there. But your mental stability and health, if you don't take care of that now, that'll crush your family, your football, your finances, and everything else, because you're going to try to find ways to be happy because you're not taking care of yourself mentally.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Okay, H-Rap. You're gonna have to save some money for that birth control girl that you just said. You're gonna have to send her some funds too, okay?
John Lewis, there must be something you have to have money for. I can't afford to be stepping away. Charlotte says too many people don't have life insurance policies. They need to remember their families and buy them. Also, we only have one of us and we have to take care of ourselves. Money and jobs can come and go.
That's very, very true.
And John said those bills. Lita said with the football player, sometimes more money, more problems. So I commend him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chances are, people say he's costing themselves money and stuff like that. Well, technically, mental health is a medical issue nowadays, so he may not be costing himself any money. And this is what the debate is now, because he is not the first player to do it in this year alone, right? But here's the deal. This is the debate. Is mental health any different than my ankle? I twisted my ankle and I can't play. And so there are clauses in the players union, the players association should go to bat for him in this situation, so he should still get paid. I'm having to step away because of my mental health, but that's not a breach in my contract because this is a medical issue. And if that's the case, if I'm distracted mentally, I'm putting myself at risk when I'm on that football field.
Absolutely.
When people are completely tuned in, they getting rocked. You know, ask Daniel Jones, the New York Giants quarterback, when he got smacked in Dallas. He was in his right mind, and he wasn't after that hit. So imagine if you're running routes, you know, down the middle of the field, and some safety is coming bearing down on you. You're distracted by whatever's going on in your life. You know, you're putting yourself out there in a dangerous situation.
That's
so
true.
again, just because it's mental health that he's stepping away from, it may not be a money thing that he's losing anything.
That's a great point.
He should be protected.
Yeah.
Just like we said about Delonte West, if you're not taking care of your athletes mentally and you're only worried about what they're doing physically, you're not doing them right. It's not right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. He's no good to himself or his family if his mental isn't right.
Yep. And even just a lot of companies, even if you look over the past couple of years, just the magnitude of the things that have been going on in the world, right? So more and more companies are putting out that mental awareness stuff. I know different companies have resources that you can talk to. They even have options for time off that you need to take for your mental. So it's super, super important and something that's coming to the forefront more and more.
And I think in education, even in my district, you're seeing more mental health days.
Yeah.
And it's accepted now.
Right.
So hopefully that is something that catches on and people actually, do it.
Yeah. And I ain't going with this more money, more problems situation. That ain't, no.
I think Justin's talking about with the whoremongers.
No, he's talking about more money, more problems. No, that ain't the case.
So you say it's not more money, more problems?
No.
Why?
It can be more money, more problems.
Yeah, because I want to hear your answer.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So again, let me just say this. I had way more money, way more problems when I had less money than I do that I have more money.
So now you tricking.
No,
yeah.
Nothing got to do with it. I'm talking about in terms. I'm gonna give you one example. Back when I didn't have money, there was a time where if I had a flat tire, that shut me down for a whole week or more. Like I can't do anything about that flat tire. I don't even have enough money to go get a used tire for $15.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are problems that go away. When you have money, right? You don't have that issue. In fact, I often talk about people, again, we live a Christian life, or we try to, right? We try to live a spiritual life, and their car break down. And immediately when they start complaining about that, I'm like, thank the Lord that you got the money to fix it.
Right.
Yeah, I do find myself doing that more.
Think about it. You got a doggone tow plan that AAA gonna come get your stuff for nothing in 45 minutes. You're gonna take it, and you got the money to get it paid for. So again, the money ain't got nothing to do with the problems. Okay, it's the mentality that's gonna bring you your problems. Money ain't got nothing to do with it.
And some of the decisions you make, right? So the people you have around you, the people you have in your corner, that can be detrimental too.
Mental health over football, with being said, and H-Rap says it's worse than the physical injury. I guess he decided to be serious now. Lena trick or treat. John said broke people problems. Now those are problems.
That's good, John.
Yeah.
Now you can go back to your room.
So again, I'm not saying that money buys happiness by any stretch of the imagination, but just simply because you have more money does not necessarily mean you have more problems. Especially, remember the conversation we had called bag chasers, right? And if you're chasing the bag for the right reason, right, then 9 times out of 10 your headspace is going to be different. When you get the money. Okay, so it's all a matter of how you got the money, why you got the money, what was your mentality before. See, I've heard a lot of celebrities say money only makes you more of what you were when you were broke. It doesn't change who you are.
It changes their appearance sometime though.
H-Rap says, I say the first thing you should get when you decide to turn pro is a therapist, even before an agent.
Oh, absolutely.
Agreed. Paul said, damn, you were broke for weeks. Wow.
That's all he took away from that.
Oh my God.
That is it, Paul.
Oh my gosh.
H-Rap said, "Don't let you, dog." Rated Kev says, for those who are so focused on the money aspect, if he's mentally not focused and distracted by things in his life, it can affect his performance, which affects his earnings. Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Staying humble is the key when you have money.
Mm-hmm.
And
All
just to say that what Aunt Wita just said, stay humble is the key. Because the Lord giveth.
The Lord
And
will
the
take
Lord
away.
take it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
mama.
All
Right, Mika.
That's mama.
So
Mhm,
back
that sure
into our topic. Lily, thank you for the feature talking. That was a good deal. Now we're going to get
Yeah.
back into our topics about double standards. And there's a couple of comments toward the end that I wanted to try to. Okay, Justin says, and this is on that other topic about men being
I
able
know
to
he
have
not. I
things
know
because
he
they're
lying.
not responsible with the yeah.
Justin.
Justin, do you really want to come in the door on this conversation? Come on in here and sit down.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I think that's all of them. Okay, so Akia says sometimes you don't know someone is prone to making babies and leaving. And then Lena said OJ did it, and Justin aptly says Lena traded the glove didn't fit. Right.
Your love didn't fit in your situation either.
Yeah, let's make it happen. That's okay.
Justin.
All right.
Mickey, you better tell him.
That girl is goofy.
Just a couple of examples on these double standards. For him, he had when he has a lot on his mind, they say he just got a lot on his mind when he ain't acting right. For her, if she ain't acting right, they say it must be that time of the month.
And it is most of the time.
See,
But sometimes it's just him.
double standards.
They have that time of the month too.
Yes, they do. They just don't see it physically.
Yeah, absolutely.
But oh my God, they have it.
My God, today they have it.
Wow, somebody telling it on somebody over there.
My God, today they have it.
Not just my men, all men. You have it too, homeboy.
All men.
Nikki angry.
She carrying over that.
I'm just telling it because they too ashamed to tell it.
So here's another big one too. For her, when she cries, it's natural for a woman to cry. She releases her stress through her tears. For him, when he cries, look, y'all, he crying. He must be weak. And this goes to a blog post that I wrote, about a year or so ago, and it was entitled "Big Boys Don't Cry." And from an early age, when moms, dads, whoever is the case, when boys are little, if they start crying about anything, they fall and they skin their knee, they bump their head or whatever, say, get up, big boys don't cry. And it is a mentality that's put in their head from the jump street. And so what ends up happening is then you get ill-fitting parts, or you're getting malfunctioned dudes when they're men and they can't express their emotions because they've been
emotionally unattached.
Yeah, they've been told all their life, big boys don't cry. You can't cry. You can't show your emotions. So that mentality stays with him. And when it's time to open up to a significant other, he can't do it because big boys don't cry. I, on the other hand, hell, I cry and I don't care who knows it. To me, in fact, crying is the ultimate show of strength.
Absolutely.
Because it is a vulnerability. Anybody who can show some vulnerability and not care what nobody think about it.
Yeah, I like my man to cry.
Cry.
You just said he has his time of the month.
You can lay on my shoulder.
I like my man to cry. I don't know, Nikki.
Ed on 90 Days cries all the time.
He sure do. I watched him last night cry.
Bobby said, that's why I cried in the car.
That's enough. That's you.
Lena said, I hate that standard. Bobby. The man crying does not make him weak. It makes him real.
No, it does not.
Passionate. That's why some of these men can't love a woman properly, because they can't be soft or vulnerable.
Right.
Yep.
Chastity said, me and my coworkers talk about that all the time. It just depends on when the tears happen. If you cry when we're arguing, it's a no for me. God, that's cold-blooded, man.
Dang!
That's when the whip comes in.
Any other time, I'm 100% okay with it. That's wrong, man.
No, I
Wrong. That's wrong.
That is wrong.
Don't use these tears to your advantage.
Yeah.
That is wrong because she said that's more of a me thing.
Deal. So this is where she different from her mama. See, her mama don't care if a man cry up on the coochie. You know, see, he cries. So I like my man to cry, so that nigga can cry and get it.
No, that's not what that means. First, I said, no, that's not what that means. First of all, when I said that men have their cycle just like women, y'all do. Period.com.
Okay. Wait a minute.
You just don't have the sign.
That period.
You just don't see the pad. You don't all that other stuff. The other thing is, it's okay for a man to cry. I don't think he's weak because he cries. I'm just saying that I won't. If my man need to cry, cry.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna laugh at you. I'm not gonna punk you out and stuff.
But what if he on his period and crying?
God,
no, that can't work.
That's just a disaster.
Okay, so tell me why y'all mama is texting me.
She's calling me right now,
telling me which comments to put on the screen. Now I don't know if she wasn't watching. She gonna talk about Ted Reed, the message that Cilla Baker sent. I had already put that up there.
Mama got
that. And look, you went back already. But you went back and found it and put it back up there.
Yeah, just because
he did.
Because he didn't want to. We get to say what she say more than anybody else.
Yeah, y'all definitely. I said that y'all get them periods too, baby.
Yeah, they do.
But I think just like Teg said though, a man crying is a show of strength. Now, if it's something you crying,
no grace.
But if it's something that you crying every day, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but again, okay, so we tie that back in.
We gotta see what's wrong.
Right. We got to tie it into mental health and stuff like that. And Chastity, I'm gonna give you hey, if a dude crying and y'all arguing, sometimes it could be
passionate.
He's coming to a realization that I'm fucked up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He could be coming to that realization, like I'm messed up, or whatever, and he's having to deal with that, and that's how he reacts. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You think that the Joker crying because he's trying to get your soft spot?
I think that's what it is. I think she may think he's trying to get up out the argument.
If he's trying to get out of the argument, that's different.
You don't know that.
Right.
How would you know that just because he started crying? You don't know why he's crying.
But I don't think in the heat of the moment you can really know if they're crying to get out of the situation, because it could be something that we're talking about that he really has become very passionate about, or something struck with him, and that could make him break down. Yeah. So I don't know. You got to be fair.
You could have made a very good point that made him see himself in a way that he hadn't before, and it shook him.
Yep.
Yeah, if he soft as Doctor's cotton, you're gonna know that before you start arguing. Grace said, when we tell our sons not to cry, they become emotionally unavailable. I changed that.
Yes.
Wade says, why is it so hard for men to kiss their boys? I remember Lawrence kissed us all. He didn't care about what others
He sure did.
It ain't hard, but men talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
Paul said, oh, man.
He better not be talking about 90 Day Fiance.
He is. He's talking about egg problems.
Stop it, Nicole. And then
Paul, you probably on yours too.
Y'all get periods too. But I'm gonna be quiet. I ain't gonna say
it. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
Yeah, stick your chest out.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
Say it. All right. So we only got a couple of minutes left. So we're gonna go around the horn, giving our final thoughts on this topic, double standards. Before we do it, we got a couple more comments to read because these folks is just on this crying. So she says, so what happens when he's always crying? Well, tell me, and it's okay to cry. How does that make us women feel?
I think, like I said, if he's always crying, it comes to like what's wrong.
Yeah,
like it's something. It's more to the story.
That's
right. It's more to the story.
And it still doesn't matter whether he cries once a week, once a month, once a year, or once a day. That don't necessarily mean he's a weak dude. He just got different triggers, or there's something going on. You need to figure that out. And it's not automatically weakness. But see, that's the thing. We've already had 2 women on here say when he cry out now, you can't be crying. And you
You
cry
can't
all
be
the
crying
time.
in the midst of
You
argument.
know, see, that's the problem. So it's not a stereotype.
I didn't say nothing about the crying during the argument. That was my daughter, y'all.
Yeah, we gonna pray
Jessica
for
said
Chastity.
she's telling me no.
We're gonna have a conference call.
Justin.
Raider
Sorry,
Ken said, I've
Justin, on
learned.
his mind.
Wow. Raider Ken said, I've learned to fake crown the man when I'm disagreeing with my wife.
Exactly. That's why we said right there.
See, but that's why you have to know your man.
Oh, wow.
Look at
Mama heard her friends come first.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, Mama.
We got you.
Wow.
We sorry.
Wow. Let's see. Radicare says a medical hack said that men have a cycle daily. Obviously, he's a hack. Exactly. Darius said you cried Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Took a break on Saturday, Sunday. We both can't be emotional like that. Then I can't cry because you already cried today. Bobby said he get comas. I guess that's what he's trying to say. He should say it. Wilfred said that sucker's crying because the dog died. Then show him the door.
Oh my, bye, Mama. Don't log off. Just text it.
Marita says Rennie Williams can cry to me all day and all night.
All right.
Oh my God.
No. Ben can cry to you all day and all night. Let's get that right. There said Mika every day, like every day, bro.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
But I think it's more to the story.
But
it is if they cry that often.
Yes.
No, you're not wrong for feeling that way, daughter-in-law. You 100% right. I may be wrong, but for feeling this way. But if my man cries, it will make me feel connected to him emotionally on a higher level.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yes.
And Paul says, "Stop asking me in the cry." Ain't nobody asking you to cry.
We just ask about the double standard about crying. Paul, go
it's
back.
It's bedtime.
That's because Paul never comes in at the beginning of a podcast. He always comes in
on the tail end of a conversation.
Yes. Lena said, Shadari is a true trailer to Daddy got her like that. Okay, makes sense. All right. So final comments, final thoughts. Nikki, on you.
The only thing I'm going to say is with regards to final thoughts is that I think there will always be this double standard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to ever change. So we just need to make light of it like we did tonight, which makes it fun. But even though we hit some serious topics as well regarding it, I think that it's never going to change. So it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And that's it. We just deal with it the best way we possibly can. And again, I want to thank you guys, like I always do every week, for tuning in to our podcast, because you could be doing anything else other than being here and supporting us. And I am so excited about our new journey. And I told my kids and my husband earlier today, we on TV. And as like I said, just like I said a few minutes ago, we made it, Mama.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good evening. Thanks for the support.
Did you say evening or evening?
I said evening.
Evening.
You said it like Wilma G. Good evening.
Don't talk about my mama.
Mika, on you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. Y'all come through with these comments every week, and it makes the show amazing. Yes. And we're so happy to be on TV.
Yeah.
With our other fellow podcasts. Be sure to support them too. We have some amazing podcasts on this network, guys. It's not just us. Please support everyone on this platform. And when it comes to double standards, know about them. Like you said, laugh about them. Right. Go on. If you choose to accept them, accept them. If you don't, you don't. Have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and before we go to Lily's final thoughts, and Mika's mentioning the podcast on the network, and last night, you want to talk about a topic, and I'm going to tell you right now, Derek, John, y'all are listening, we are going to cover this topic on this show. And I was going to talk about this in our podcast Zoom meetings that we have. It's okay for us to take other people's topics, because let me put it to you like this. Last night, their topic was, she's in my bed, but he's in her head.
That was so good.
And when
Oh,
you talk
I
about,
haven't listened to their podcast yet.
she's
It
in
was
my
so
bed,
good.
but
I
he's
gotta
in her
listen to
head.
it tomorrow.
You talking about fire and wanting to get in on that one. So yeah, we got some talented podcasters out there. We
That sounds like an excellent topic.
really do. And some of them are just still developing. Justin's show last week. Elevator.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah, Justin had a good show.
Man,
Yeah.
come Sundays on this Roku TV. Come Sundays. Macedonia Ministries has just got signed by
Yay,
BSC
cousin.
Network. And Pastor Dawkins is going to be on live from Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church in Fate, Texas on Sunday mornings at 11:30. As soon as we get in up and running,
Get
and
your church in.
Overcomers Empowerment Ministries will be there at 10 a.m. on Sundays mornings. So
Yes.
Pastor,
Selena.
hey, Benny Hinn, Pastor Papa,
Not
y'all
Benny
ain't got
Hinn,
nothing
Pastor
on
Papa.
us. We finna come with it. Let's see, Lily, on you. Final thoughts.
Again, thank you for the support week after week. Y'all make this so fun. I love reading the comments and going with the topic because it just keeps the show moving. And we can't do it without y'all, seriously. So download us on Roku channel and support us. Get your church in on Sundays. And then when you winding down and getting ready for your week, pop on the podcast and support all of the wonderful podcasts that we have on BS3 Network.
Justin.
And double standards. I think we had a lot of fun with this one tonight. Double standards is something that will never go away. I think we see it among men and women, but we also see it among race, right? So black and white. So that's another perspective on that too. So I think it's a lot to dive in with that topic all the way around. But like they said, kind of make light of it. And you don't have to give in to the double standards. You can change the narrative. Just like one of the comments I think Grace said about her son, changing the narrative of her son and wanting him to be emotionally available. And that's so important. So it's up to you to make the change. It's still time to do that. And we can just move forward with all of this. So thank you guys.
Can I ask one question real quick?
Question?
You can ask or ask. Which one?
I said ask. You heard me. Y'all remember when, well, I don't know if Alicia remembers this or not, but you remember when Mika used to pass out when she was watching Benny Hinn?
Oh, but me and Mika used to blow on each other and do
used to blow on each other and pass out.
And yes, and she would ask her daddy to take her to go see Benny Hinn.
And he never did.
She just wanted to pass out just like she did at the Michael Jackson concert.
I didn't pass out the Michael Jackson concert, but
you wanted to.
I'm gonna call him after this. He never took me to see Benny Hinn.
Yeah, because he didn't want
I think he's still blowing on people. I think he's still blowing on people, so take yourself.
All right. So my final thoughts on this topic, double standards, again, to echo the sentiments of my co-hosts, we do sincerely appreciate your support and tuning in every single week. Again, the comments are half the show. You know, y'all do half the work, to be perfectly honest. A lot of times as I'm preparing, I stop myself from getting more information because I'm like, they're going to bring something to the table that's going to not allow us to get to certain things.
Every week.
In fact, it is the reason why we have parts 1, part 2, part 3 on certain topics. And this topic is a topic that can probably have a part 2. Again, as I said, double standards are a part of society. It's a part of certain cultures more than others. It's what we have to deal with, right? You know, another topic or another double standard we could have discussed was when men are having a heated discussion, it's just that, it's a heated discussion. When women are having a heated discussion, it's a cat fight. When men are being assertive, they are being assertive, and I love it. And for him, when she's being assertive, she's such a bitch and she's bossy, you know, look at her.
Yes, yes,
for him, if he got a little gray hair, I love that salt and pepper.
He's so distinguished.
That's a little sexy.
When she got gray, look at her, girl. Looking up there, looking old. So again,
she must be
what's she going through?
She must be sick.
She's 9 times out of 10, they are not fair. And more importantly, this is how I'm going to say it. Don't worry about the double standards that are placed on you. Be
Right.
comfortable with who you are and what you rocking with.
Mhm.
Be careful about how you impose a double standard on other people. That's the way I would operate. Don't worry about double standards put on you. Be careful on how you impose double standards to other people. And that would be my advice. And again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Queen3 and King. And we will see you next week at the same time, Tuesday at 7:30.
Are we smiling or what are we doing?
The Queen Bee has arrived.
You know. What's your out then? So I'm gonna start with both of y'all's hands right here.
Look for my thumb.
Look for your thumb.
Like if you can see my thumb on